You're not tired, you're not broken, you're not even overwhelmed. That's just the lie you tell yourself. What you really are is comfortable, and that's the real enemy, not the haters, not the obstacles, not the challenges. It's your own addiction to ease, that soft bed, that warm meal, that climate, controlled environment, that instant dopamine fix from your screen. It's not luxury, it's a leash. And the truth is, you've been collared like an obedient little pet, trained to chase convenience while your dreams rot in the corner. People out here complain they don't know their purpose. They whine about lacking motivation. They moan about how life feels flat and meaningless. Do you think a man crawling through mud in a war zone worries about motivation? Do you think a man trying to put food on the table for his family in a collapsing economy talks about lack of purpose? Of course not, because pressure wakes up your primal instinct to act. Pain forces clarity. Hardship exposes character, but comfort, it dulls you. It turns you into a zombie, a breathing body with no fire inside. You're not empty because you lack opportunity. You're empty because you've made ease your god. You worship convenience. You treat peace like a permanent state instead of a reward earned after battle. You sleep too much, you eat too much, you talk too much and do too little, and every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I deserve to rest," you're digging your own grave with a gold-plated shovel. The worst part, you know it. Deep down, you feel the decay. You feel yourself shrinking. You feel your edge vanishing. There was a time when you were hungry, when your thoughts were sharp, when your energy was volcanic. When the idea of being average made you sick, but you let life soften you. You stopped exposing yourself to challenge. You stopped testing your limits. You stopped stepping into discomfort. And now you live in fear of it. That's the catch. The more comfortable you get, the weaker you become. The more luxury you absorb, the less strength you retain. The harder it gets to do anything truly meaningful because your threshold for pain has dropped to zero. Let me break it to you raw. Nothing grows in comfort. Your muscles don't grow unless you tear them. Your mindset doesn't evolve unless it's challenged. Your bank account doesn't expand unless you bleed for it. Comfort keeps everything the same. That's the lie it sells you. Stay here, stay safe, don't risk, don't try, don't struggle. And if you listen, you'll wake up one day realizing your best years were spent maintaining a mediocre existence. You'll sit in a soft chair with soft skin and a soft spirit, wondering why the world passed you by. Winners choose pain. They wake up before they're rested. They train when they're tired. They build when they're broke. They grind when it's thankless. They seek out resistance because they know something you don't. Pain is the gateway to power. Resistance is the path to evolution. You can't read or meditate your way to greatness. You have to fight for it, bleed for it, sacrifice for it, and that means getting very, very uncomfortable. Comfort is seductive. It sells you the idea that you're okay, that everything's fine, that you can just be. But let me ask you, how's that working out for you? Are you rich? Are you ripped? Are you respected? Or are you broke, bored, and buried in excuses? The answer stares at you in the mirror every morning. That soft belly, that lazy routine, that life filled with maybes and somedays. That's the byproduct of comfort. That's what happens when you live like there's no war to fight, and make no mistake. There is a war. It's just not out there. It's inside. It's your spirit versus your softness, your purpose versus your procrastination, your discipline versus your desire for ease. And most of you are losing not because you're weak, but because you won't step into the discomfort long enough to win. You dabble in pain, but you retreat at the first sign of pressure. You flirt with greatness, but you marry mediocrity because it's easier. You've been told to chase balance, to chase self-love, to be kind to yourself. That's the biggest scam of the century. Being kind to yourself doesn't mean avoiding hardship. It means demanding more of yourself because you love your future more than your feelings. It means turning your alarm off at 5 a.m. and getting up, not because you feel like it, but because the man you're becoming requires it. That's real self-love, not cupcakes and comfort, discipline, focus, sacrifice. The people you admire, the ones who stand tall, who dominate their space, who walk with fire in their eyes, they are not living in comfort. They're living in control. They suffer on purpose. They bend life to their will, not by being lucky, not by being special, but by mastering their relationship with pain. They run toward discomfort while everyone else runs away from it. Look around you, this culture is built to keep you soft. Everything is instant, everything is automated, everything is about comfort. Fast food, fast pleasure, fast validation, and with all that speed, you'd think people would be thriving. But they are not. They are overweight, over-medicated, overstimulated, and underfulfilled, because comfort doesn't give you life, it drains it. It's a slow, silent assassin. It doesn't stab you in the heart. It dulls your edge until you're too numb to care. You've got two choices. You either choose to suffer now or suffer later. You either put yourself through pain voluntarily or life will give you pain involuntarily. There is no easy path. There's only the illusion of one. But if you choose your suffering, if you own it, lean into it, embrace it, then you get to become someone most men will never meet, your highest self, and don't get it twisted. This isn't about being reckless or masochistic. This is about intentional hardship, about becoming the type of man who doesn't flinch when life gets heavy, who doesn't fold when the pressure rises, who doesn't quit because he's tired. No, this is about stepping into the furnace and forging something unbreakable. You want results, you want freedom, you want respect. Then stop looking for shortcuts, stop chasing hacks, stop needing everything to feel aligned. Show up when it's inconvenient, do the work when it's uncomfortable. Say no to pleasure when it's screaming in your face, because every time you do, you're building something the soft world can't take from you. Self-control, inner strength, unshakable will. And here's the brutal truth most people won't admit. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no guru, no motivational video. You're either going to rise or you're going to rot. And it all depends on your tolerance for discomfort. The more pain you can carry, the more pressure you can eat, the further you'll go. Success belongs to the man who can suffer longer than anyone else, period. So let them laugh when you get up before the sun. Let them mock your discipline. Let them say you're obsessed, crazy, too intense. Let them waste their lives on comfort, because while they sleep, you train. While they consume, you create. While they run, you endure. And one day, when they wake up broke, bitter, and buried in regret, you'll be living proof that comfort was never the goal. Mastery was. Now ask yourself, what will you do when this speech ends? Go back to the warm bed, the scrolling, the snacks, the softness. Or will you strip all that away and face the discomfort like a warrior, like a savage, like the man you were born to become? Comfort makes you forget how dangerous it is to be average. It blinds you, numbs you, and then it poisons your judgment. You start accepting things you should have declared war on. You start tolerating mediocrity in the name of peace. You begin to negotiate with laziness, justify inaction, and make excuses for why you're not leveling up. You convince yourself that it's okay to stay stuck, because at least you're not suffering. But here's the truth most people choke on. If you're not suffering on purpose, you're still suffering. Only now, it's disguised as safety. See, the moment you stop chasing growth, you start decaying. There's no neutral. There's no cruise control in life. You're either evolving or dissolving, and most people are dissolving while watching Netflix with a full belly and a fake smile, lying to themselves with phrases like "I'm just recharging," or "I'm giving myself grace." That's not self-care. That's self-sabotage. It's weakness dressed up in wellness. It's failure dressed in robes of fake positivity. You're not growing because you're too scared to be uncomfortable. You're dying slow because it feels better than hurting fast. People will say, but isn't life supposed to be enjoyed? Sure, but you don't enjoy life by avoiding the grind. You don't enjoy life by sitting in a puddle of your own comfort hoping things change. You enjoy life after you've conquered something. After you've fought, after you've proven to yourself that you've got teeth, fire, and backbone. Enjoyment without effort is hollow. That dopamine you chase without discipline, it's poison. It's candy, coated slavery. That temporary hit of pleasure costs you your permanent growth. Every time you chase it, you're sacrificing the man you're meant to be for the boy you refuse to leave behind. Let's get one thing straight. Comfort is not just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. You can be in the gym every day and still be mentally soft. You can have abs and still be weak inside because comfort creeps in through your thoughts. It whispers to you. It tells you to take it easy when you should be pushing harder. It says you've earned the rest when you've barely even begun, and you listen because the voice sounds nice, but nice doesn't build empires. Nice doesn't create warriors. Nice doesn't earn freedom. Look at your life, the areas where you're struggling. Money, fitness, relationships, discipline. It's not because you're cursed. It's because you've allowed comfort to govern your decisions in those areas. You won't tell people the truth because it's uncomfortable. You won't train when it's raining because it's uncomfortable. You won't start that business, approach that woman, or quit that job because it's uncomfortable. Every excuse you make is rooted in your fear of discomfort. And every time you avoid that discomfort, you reinforce your identity as a weak man. People say success is about mindset. They're right. But mindset isn't some magical belief system you chant in the mirror. It's built through repetition of hard things. It's built through discipline, through sacrifice, through doing the exact thing you don't want to do every day until it becomes who you are. You don't build a mindset by reading books and watching motivational videos. You build it by bleeding, by struggling, by making comfort your enemy instead of your goal. You want to be powerful, then stop indulging in weakness. Cut the soft habits. Stop negotiating with your feelings. Your emotions are not your compass. They're a test. When your brain says stop, you say good. When your body says rest, you say not yet. When your heart says I'm scared, you say then let's go faster. That's how you rewire your instincts. That's how you transform, not by therapy, not by affirmations, but by embracing the fight every single day, and it is a fight. That's what no one wants to admit. Every morning is war, you vs you, your discipline vs your doubt, your mission vs your mood, and most of you are losing because you're waiting to feel ready. You think motivation is some magic potion that's going to arrive before you move. It's not. The only thing that creates motivation is momentum. The only thing that creates belief is action. Waiting is a trap. Comfort loves when you wait. It loves when you hesitate. That's how it wins. You've been trained since childhood to crave comfort. Your schools, your phones, your jobs, they've all conditioned you to value ease over effort. They gave you rewards for sitting still, praise for obeying, treats for compliance, and now you're out here wondering why life feels empty. It's because you were never taught how to suffer with purpose. You were never taught that suffering is sacred, that it carves out greatness, that the very thing you avoid is the doorway to everything you want. You want confidence, suffer. You want discipline, suffer. You want respect, suffer. There is no substitute. You either learn to suffer now or suffer later in regret, in resentment, in mediocrity. Your choice, but pretending that you can have a powerful life and a comfortable process. That's delusion, that's fantasy, and men who live in fantasy never leave a legacy. Here's the reality you need to choke down. Comfort is addictive. The more you have of it, the less you want to lose it. It creates cowardice, it creates dependency, and the worst part, it rewrites your identity. You go from someone who used to fight to someone who negotiates. You go from someone who wanted more to someone who rationalizes why this is enough. You shrink. You justify, you explain away your failures with fake wisdom, and the world claps for it. Because soft men make excellent consumers and obedient slaves, but not you, not anymore. If you're hearing this, it's because something inside you still remembers who you were supposed to be. There's a piece of you, buried under all the comfort, all the distractions, all the lies, that still burns, that wants to rise, that wants to walk into the fire and feel something again. And if you don't feed that fire now, it will die. And once it dies, so do you, not physically, but spiritually. You become a walking corpse, a domesticated animal living in a human zoo. So stop lying to yourself. You're not managing stress. You're avoiding responsibility. You're not figuring things out. You're delaying action. You're not taking time to heal. You're addicted to the numbness. You've wrapped your pain in pillows and called it self-care. But nothing about your current life is healing you. It's hiding you. And here's what separates winners from losers: pain tolerance. That's it. The man who can eat more discomfort for a longer period of time will always win. Not the smartest, not the fastest, not the most privileged. The one who refuses to quit when it hurts. The one who doesn't need applause. The one who treats pain like a friend instead of a threat. That man is unstoppable. That man can't be broken because he chose the grind. He chose the fire. He didn't run from it. He ran into it. So ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? Is it the pain of failure, or the pain of judgment, or the pain of being seen starting from zero? It doesn't matter. Fear is just weakness dressed in logic. You don't need more clarity. You don't need more strategy. You need more grit, more guts, more discomfort. You need to train your nervous system to crave the hard path, because the easy one ends in a casket of regrets. Every man will die, but not every man will live. And if you spend your life avoiding discomfort, you'll never actually live. You'll exist, you'll float, you'll survive, but you won't live, because life, real life, starts the moment you embrace the suck. When you stop running from pain and start running into it, that's when you wake up, that's when your eyes open, that's when you finally become dangerous. You're not going to get there with balanced routines and bubble baths. You're going to get there by pushing, sweating, bleeding, and rising when everything inside you screams quit. You're going to get there by becoming the kind of man who doesn't need comfort to function, who thrives in chaos, who dominates in adversity, who doesn't fold when things get hard. Because that man is rare, and rare men rule the world. So what are you going to do? Keep scrolling, keep waiting, keep lying to yourself? Or are you going to throw comfort in the trash, walk into the storm, and build the beast you were meant to become? The final truth you must accept is brutal. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends, not society. The safety net you've been told exists. It's fake. The world doesn't reward comfort. It exploits it. The system is designed to keep you comfortable just enough to be compliant, just enough to keep paying, obeying, and staying quiet. They want you docile. They want you dependent, because a comfortable man is a controlled man. But you're here because deep down you feel it, that itch, that agitation, that frustration that eats at you every night when you scroll past other people winning, conquering, living freely. It's not envy. It's not jealousy. It's a whisper from the part of you that still remembers who the hell you were supposed to be. You were born with fire, and now you're choking on your own smoke because you keep playing it safe. You think that working 9 to 5 until you're 65 is normal. You think owning a house, driving a basic car, getting 2 weeks off per year is the dream. That's not a life. That's a sentence. That's a slow death wrapped in societal approval. You think you're free, but you're a well-fed prisoner, and the chains, they're made of comfort. Every paycheck, every pizza night, every mindless weekend is another shackle locking you in a cage you chose. And it's your fault. Every lie you told yourself, every time you said tomorrow, every time you picked Netflix over discipline, every time you chose the path of least resistance because it was easier. That's on you. You let comfort rewrite your story. You let it dull your edge, soften your muscles, rot your ambition, and now you're angry. Good. Stay angry, use it. Because if you don't turn that rage into action, it'll eat you from the inside out. The truth is, most people don't want freedom. They want comfort with a different label. They say they want success, but they don't want to sacrifice. They say they want purpose, but they don't want pressure. They want the life of a lion without the fight. That's not how it works. You can't earn respect if you never step into the arena. You can't become a king if you're still bowing to convenience. Discomfort is the gatekeeper to everything you want. Want power? Get uncomfortable. Want peace? Get uncomfortable. Want to lead? Want to dominate? Want to stand alone and not flinch? That's forged in the flames of pain, repetition, sacrifice, and war. Not in bubble baths, vision boards, and manifestation. This world belongs to the men who seek war voluntarily, who make pain their practice, who sharpen themselves daily through adversity. Not avoidance. Look at history. Look at every empire, every legacy, every man who changed the world. None of them did it from the couch. None of them were motivated by comfort. They were forged in chaos. They were willing to suffer harder, longer, and deeper than anyone around them. That's why they won. Not because they were lucky, not because they were born special, but because they rejected comfort. They saw it for what it is, a weapon of mass distraction. You've been sold the idea that you can have balance, that you can do it all. That's a lie. Balance is for people who have already built the empire. You don't deserve balance yet. You haven't earned it. You don't need more rest. You need more urgency. You don't need more comfort. You need more war. If you're broke, unknown, weak, tired, and stuck, it's not time for balance. It's time to go to war with your habits, your excuses, and your comfort zones. Here's a question. How much pain are you willing to endure for the life you claim you want? Because the answer to that determines how far you'll go, not how talented you are, not how smart you are. Pain tolerance, that's the metric, that's the differentiator. Can you suffer for 5 years without applause? Can you keep swinging when no one's watching? Can you get up again and again with no guarantee it'll pay off? That's the test. Most people fail. They fold at the first obstacle. They quit at the first taste of discomfort. And that's why they stay small. You want to be different. You want to rise above, then make discomfort your drug. Wake up early when it hurts. Push your limits when it's cold. Tell the truth when it's risky. Lead when you're scared. Speak when your voice shakes. Build when you're exhausted. Show up when everyone else has tapped out. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you dominate. Your habits are a reflection of your standards. And your standards are dictated by how much comfort you allow. Stop tolerating weakness. Stop making space for mediocrity. Set rules for yourself that make you strong, not safe. If your daily routine doesn't challenge you, it's not a routine, it's a lullaby. It's putting you to sleep while life passes you by. And when you finally wake up, it's too late. You're 40, broke, bitter, overweight, full of regrets and excuses. That's where comfort leads. That's the destination. There's a version of you that's locked behind a wall of discomfort. You can't get to him with positivity. You can't get to him by journaling. You get to him by breaking, by bleeding, by sacrificing comfort like it's the enemy. Because it is that version of you, the one that wins, leads, dominates. He's earned through suffering. He's sculpted through sacrifice. He's built in fire. Stop trying to hack the system. There is no hack. It's not 10 tricks to success. It's blood, sweat, tears, and years of grinding when no one claps for you. Stop looking for a shortcut and start looking in the mirror. Everything you need is already inside of you, but it's buried under layers of comfort, fear, and weakness. Peel them off, rip them out, burn them down, and here's the worst part of comfort. It makes you forget who you are. It makes you soft in your thinking. You don't just lose your discipline, you lose your vision. You stop aiming high, you stop dreaming big, you forget that you were born to conquer, not comply, you settle, you shrink, you dim your light so you don't offend others who are just as soft. That's not humility. That's self-betrayal, and no man respects himself when he betrays what he knows he's capable of. You don't fix that with more self-love. You fix it with self-confrontation. You get raw. You look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not enough yet. You stop being afraid of hurting your own feelings and start hurting your own ego. That's how you grow. That's how you take the chains off, not by protecting yourself, but by exposing yourself to fire until you're unburnable. There's glory on the other side of pain. There's power on the other side of pressure. But you'll never get there if you keep chasing ease. The man you dream of being isn't scared of suffering. He craves it. Because he knows what it builds, and until you become that man, until you become the one who walks into pain voluntarily, you'll stay stuck. You'll keep watching others rise. You'll keep wondering why it's not happening for you. Stop wondering, start suffering. Start building your life brick by brick through sweat, tears, and broken comfort zones. You don't need more information, you need execution. Ruthless, relentless, unglamorous execution. Day after day after day, when it's boring, when it's hard, when it sucks, when no one sees, that's how legacies are built. That's how kings rise. No one owes you anything. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It rewards killers. It rewards those who are willing to bleed for their future. So bleed, struggle, fight, because the only other option is death, maybe not literal, but emotional, mental, spiritual, death of potential. Death of purpose, death of greatness. And when you look back on your life, when you're old and gray and the lights are dimming, you won't care about how comfortable you were. You'll care about whether you became who you were supposed to be. You'll care about whether you fought hard enough, whether you went all in, whether you bled for something that mattered, whether you lived or merely existed. So the question is simple. Are you ready to suffer for greatness? Or are you going to keep dying for comfort? Every second you waste in comfort is a second stolen from your destiny. You're not tired. You're uninspired. You're not lost. You're just hiding and you're not broken. You're simply addicted to ease. The war isn't out there, it's inside you, and until you win that war, you will never be free. So stand up, strip comfort from your life like poison, and get to work. Pain is the currency of power. Suffering is the price of greatness. And if you're not willing to pay in full, then step aside. The world doesn't need another soft man. It needs warriors. Earn your place, or be forgotten.